and I'm going to share this with you guys. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So we talked about the other day with closing sales, like our cheat sheet that I always had for my assistant managers. And this is how I taught all of them to do deals. And I want to show you guys the exact same thing. But you're going to want to write some notes down because like of how you explain when you explain each of the sets and everything. Okay. So here's the deal. Somebody calls in, they're closing on whatever, right? You want to help. So there, one of two things is happening, right? You're either helping them close the deal because they're on the fence. So we need to give them a good deal, right? Or they made a decision on something and we're showing them something larger, like an option that might be really good for the customer, depending on what they liked, right? So I had a customer that called in, a girl that called in, and she said her customer like really wanted to get the signature set, but she couldn't right now because they had other priorities, and she just was going to buy 3 gift sets because she needed them for weddings. And I said, okay, cool. Is she going to pay for them in payments or in full? She's like, no, she's paying in full. So the lady was paying $450 in full, okay, because she needed to buy 3 gift sets for a wedding. And I said to the girl, I said, hey, by the way, I said, question for you. I had asked, I said, did she pay in full or she do payment? She's like, oh, she paid in full. I was like, no way. I go, girl, I said, she could pay the same or less today and put a $500, either $464 with table knives or $524 with the steak knives. Okay. So that's literally like what she was spending that day. It was $528 was the total of what the lady was going to pay. I said, so she could spend less, do $464 instead of $528. Or she could do $524 instead of $528, right? I'm using this right here for the signature, the deposit. And I said, so she could do that. I said, and I can give her those 3 gift sets for free. I said, so she's spending the same amount today, less today. She's getting the gift sets she needed today, and she's getting her set. I go, she has 3 weeks to use it, make sure she loves it. I said, and then it would be the same amount once a month, or she can call and pay it off. I said, just let her know that's an option. And guys, that's a key phrase that you all need to get damn good at, is just so you know. And making sure that reps are using that when they give the deal. And so you need to guide them and say, hey, just let your manager know, like no pressure, but just so you know, my manager mentioned that, and then sharing whatever you gave them, and they need to be excited about it. So I'm like, yeah, just so you know. So the gift sets, all that, we're good to go. I'm like, but just so you know, my manager told me that there's a bundle with the signature that you liked, and it comes with, $500 of free stuff. And she said that you could switch it out for the gift sets. So you could do, you could pay less today. You could do $464 today for the signature set that you loved with the table knives. I said, and you would get the gift sets you were going to buy for $528. You would get them for free. So she just told me to show you that just to see if you possibly wanted to do that and start your collection, or if you wanted to just do the gift sets. And the lady was like, oh my God, yes, let's do it. She bought the signature. So her sale went from 500 to over 2,000, right? Because we did a good job as a management team, just showing them that, right? I had a girl call in. Angie called and said, my customer is definitely buying the homemaker, right? And we talked last week about what to say. I'm not covering that. I'm covering like presenting the actual deal to them, okay? But she said to me, my customer is definitely buying the homemaker set. And I'm giving them the kitchen tools, it was the scissors. She goes, and she's getting the scissors for free. And I said, oh, okay, awesome. I said, does she like to cook? She's like, oh yeah, she loves cooking. I said, okay, cool. I go, I want you to show her. I said, so by the way, what you did, great. Go through gifts and accessories, see if there's anything else she liked, because we could add like buy 2, get 1 free or whatever, like with accessories. There's different deals going on for Memorial Day, so we could totally hook her up. But I said, just write this down just to show her. I said, there is a bundle with the signature, okay? And the signature has the homemaker tools, and you have to spill out everything, guys, that it has. And I'm going to tell you with the complete set, I do it a little bit different, just because I'm not going to list every single knife there. But here I go. So with the signature, it has the homemaker tools, okay? And then it also has the scissors that she wanted. It fits in the block. It has the cheese knife, which is amazing, especially if you like to entertain and cook. And it has the hearty slicer, which is one of my personal favorites. You can muscle through tough jobs. So you have one to whack with and you have one to muscle with. And then it has an additional chopping knife that's smaller. So you can show that. It comes with 3 cutting boards, okay? And it comes with the sharpener. All right. It also comes with, you know, it came with a bunch of other stuff, but we can replace it with her gift sets. So typically I just like present stuff that things come with based on what they liked. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a moment. And I said, or, you know, you can replace it with $600 to $625 of whatever you want for free, whatever they want, if they don't want that other stuff, you know, but just for you guys to know like what these bundles have. So anyway, so I told her, I said, hey, by the way, so there's a bundle on the signature. It has the tools the homemaker has, the scissors that she loved. It comes in the block. I said, it comes with a cheese knife. It comes with a hearty slicer. It comes with a smaller chopping knife. And then it has 10 table knives or 10 steak knives you can do. All right. It has 3 cutting boards and a sharpener. I said, and normally that's over, what I just told you, everything I just told you is over $3,000 normally. Write this down. The bundle for Memorial Day is only $21.33. All right. And then you can put a line through it because they don't have to pay that all today, and circle 464. Cool. That is a deposit they would put down to try that all out. I'm like, so I just wanted them to see it because, you know, I know they were already going to buy the homemaker, and literally for like $600 more, they're getting over, you know, another $1,500 worth of stuff, you know? So I just want to make sure they know about that. Cool. But if not, show them the gifts and accessories, go through to see if there's anything else they want, so that we can hook them up. Zach, mute yourself, please. Check to see if there's anything else they like from the gifts and accessories, because with that deal that I just told you that's discounted, they get $500 to $550 of whatever they want for free. So they could pick out like gifts for other people for Father's Day. They could get accessories for themselves. They could get gadgets, like they could get extra like steak knives, you know, or stainless table knives. Like, so just make sure to go through gifts and accessories. And then just call me back and let me know if they want to do the homemaker and do some add-ons, or if they want to do that signature bundle for Memorial Day weekend that is discounted and comes with an additional like $500, $550 of free stuff. Cool. And they're like, all right, awesome. Right. So I'm normally playing in this world the whole time, like these lines here, like on the or. If I need to, then I go there, but I never really talk much about that because free stuff is always better for the customer and free stuff is always better for the rep. Cool. Like I know that from being here 20 years. And if you've been through my advanced training, I had you guys jot down like free stuff is always better than discounts. Cool. But when we're upselling or we're doing a deal, we'll give both options, right? So in that case, I'm like, yeah, let me know if there's anything else that they liked. I said, because if not, with the signature bundle for Memorial, we could also do a discount with nothing free. I go, but just go ahead and show them gifts and accessories. Call me back and let's see what's the best deal, right? And so she called me back and she's like, she really liked that signature bundle you told me. And she picked out the kitchen tools and the barbecue tools and the can opener and some other stuff. And I was like, cool. I said, you can do that. I said, is there anything else that she might want to look at or that she was considering? She's like, no, that's what she wanted to get. I'm like, beautiful. I'm like, write her up for a signature, give her all that stuff for free, and give her a big high five. All right. And she's like, all right, cool. But again, Angie went from selling a homemaker and her CPO was going to be like 1,200 or 1,300. And her CPO ended up being, 2,000, it was like 1,800 or some 1,700 or 1,800, but it was like $600, $700 more. And anytime you guys can do that for yourselves, anytime you can do that for other people, that's a lot of extra money for not extra work. Like you spend the same amount of time, right? Doing the demo, everything, you just showed an additional deal or showed a great value. And you've got to be excited about it when you show it, and you're like, oh, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a deal, or like, oh my gosh, just so you know, my manager just told me. I'm like, they've got to be excited. But again, you've got to be excited as you show them. All right. I had another guy call in and he said, or Jessica Perez, her first complete set was a homemaker. She said, my customer is definitely getting the homemaker +8. I told them they want to get the scissors for free, but they were also inquiring about the cleaver and the hearty slicer. And I was like, oh, it sounds like they cook. She's like, oh yeah, my uncle is a huge hunter. And so he wanted some of those bigger heavy duty knives. And I was like, oh, for sure. I go, by the way, I said, just write this down. I said, I'm going to give you 2 options. I said, we could do the homemaker, the scissors, they could buy the cleaver. We could give them the hearty free. Cool. And I had to write it down, like write down homemaker +8 plus cleaver. That's what they would pay for. Cool. And then for free scissors and hearty slicer. I said, but write this down. I said, because this is a freaking smoking deal. All right. And so write this down. I said, there is a bundle. I said, on the complete set. I said, they have 2 options. Okay. I said, one, there's a bundle that I highly recommend. I said it's 42.75. Like you could write that down. Like that's the value of everything that's in it. It's 42.75. I said it's only 29.29. I was like, so they're saving over $1,300. Okay. I said, and that, write it down, the deposit, 636, circle it. I'm like, they have 3 weeks to try it out. Cool. That's the deposit they would put. I said, and with that bundle, they could pick out 650 to 750 bucks of whatever they want for gifts, for other people, stuff to add to their set, whatever they want, redo all their gadgets, never touch it again. Cool. Or if they don't see anything else they want, which hardly happens because everybody wants everything, I said, we could do a discount. And so instead of the, of that bundle I just told you about, we could discount the complete set with nothing for free. And it would be 2605. All right. And you could circle the deposit as 566. Cool. 566. I said, so those are the two options there. I go, so make sure your uncle knows that. Okay. But if he doesn't want to do that, we can do the homemaker, pay for the cleaver, give him the scissors, give him the Hardy. Sound good? I said, but get excited. And when you tell him, say, oh, deal, guess what? I just talked to my manager and she said that on the complete set, which has the, and tell them what it has. It has the homemaker, all the homemaker tools. It has the Hardy slicer you wanted. It has a cleaver you wanted, and it has the other specialty knives. It comes in the block. It has 3 cutting boards. It has a sharpener. It comes with steak knives or with the table knives, depending what you want. And $650 of whatever the heck you want, like gadgets, fishing knife, hunting knife, barbecue tools, gadgets for the kitchen, whatever you want, or any gifts that you might want. And they're like, or you could do a discount with nothing for free. And they're like, no, but the bundle is the best deal. And that's what I always tell people. I'm like, this is the bundle. I'm like, or you could do a discount. I'm like, but the bundle is the best deal. All right. And again, if you guys notice here, the discounts are only on sets with table knives. All right. I have someone working on some deals for the others that I'll show you later. But for right now, and I grew up in my career only doing discounts on sets with table knives, because how do we do the discount? We charge them for some of it, right? And that's what you guys see here. We charge them for some of the table knives. We give them the rest for free. Cool. So on a Studio +4, when they write it up, if they end up saying like, hey, Blake, yeah, they're going to do the discount. You're going to say, all right, cool. We're going to write that up. You're going to help them write it up. Basic homemaker B block with a B. And you always have to put the B. All right. So whatever the item number is with a B gives them the big block with the space for the table knives. That's very important that they always put the B, because if they don't put the B, they're going to get the studio set without the spots for the table knives. And they're going to be pissed because they're not going to be able to put their table knives in it. Okay. So for the company, the block is the exact same amount, and what I'm saying is whether it has let me just go to here, cutco.com. All right. Whether it has the spaces or not. All right. So if we go to the knife sets, this right here, if it's the homemaker +8, right, it has the spaces for the table knives, or it's the basic homemaker, those blocks are the exact same price. Everyone got that? Like the block itself. So to the company, they don't give a crap if it has the spaces or it doesn't have the spaces. It costs them the same. So whenever we're doing this write-up, this is just for you to know. You don't have to explain all this to the rep, but for you to understand that when we do this, what you're doing when you do a discount is you're charging them. So here on the homemaker, right? If we do this discount on line 8, how we write it up is we're going to write up the basic homemaker. So we're going to use that item number when we write it, when you go in there. So it's going to be 2101 or 2001 BC or CB. I don't know what it is. Let me see. But it's going to have a B in it as well. And the B is for big block. Okay. So I can't get into my app on my phone for whatever reason now, but anyway, it's going to have a B. So someone could try to put it. Molly, can you confirm that for me? Is it 2001 BC or is it 2001? I think it's just 2001 B, and then you pick the color because you pick pearl or classic right after it. So, but in your app, it should be 2001 B. And so that is the basic homer with the big block. All right. And then what are we doing next when we're writing it up? Anyone know? Kristen, Zach, Naomi, Blake?
We get the table knives for free.
Well, we're going to do 2 separate things. We're going to charge for 2 table knives. So you're going to go quantity 2, 1759B, right? And then the next line, you're going to put quantity 6 and then make those bonus. Those are going to be free. So that's how we came out with this price of $12.14. All right. Is that they're paying for 2 of the table knives and then they're getting 6 of them for free. Cool. Yes, Molly.
In the app, it is 2001 CB, but you can also do it by browsing by category. That's the easiest way. Browse by category, go to the B block section, and then you can just find the B block for whichever one you need.
Yeah. So, but that's what you do. Discounts. Let me just put this here. Discount is B block. Okay. So just so you guys are aware of that. Whoa, that's crazy. B block. So that is what you got there. All right. So the discount is the B block. So you're writing up a B block. You're charging for however many it says here of steak or table knives, and you're giving the rest for free. Cool. So you guys know the complete set comes with 12. So if we're charging for 3, we're giving 9 for free, right? With the table knives, we're charging for 2. So we're giving 10 for free. All right. And so I don't know if we just want to write that on here, Molly. So it's like charge 3 and then, 9 free, or if you guys are good, but just, you just want to make sure they have 12, right? If it's a complete set, you want to make sure they have 10. If it's a signature, you want to make sure they have 8. If it's a homemaker, if it's a galley, you want to make sure they have 6, essentials 5, studio 4. Everyone good? Any questions on that? All right. So, that's what you would do if they do the discount. You do a B block, you charge them for however many table knives or steak knives, and you give them the rest of them for free. All right. And that's how you do it. And then you have the deposit, there to tell them if the person does choose, they rather just have a discount and nothing free. All right. But if you guys build it up properly, very rare that I have that, but you will have some people like, I just want the knives. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, we can do the discount for you. So Jessica's customer was like, yes, please. And they did the $42.75 bundle for the $29.29, and picked out a bunch of stuff that they liked. Right. I had another rep call in, and they were buying a galley, a basic galley set. And they had wanted to get some other stuff, but they were just like trying to watch the price, but then we talked to them and we're like, all right, cool. Do they cook? Do they not? Or actually, no, it was a galley plus 6. Do they cook? Do they not? Whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, they really love to cook. I said, all right, cool. I said, well, hey, with the galley, because he's like, they definitely want the galley. I just want to see what deals, what packages or deals we're running. I said, well, hey, with the galley, I said, if you want to go to the back of the book, I said, we can add stuff. We can do a buy 2, get 1, on pretty much anything that they want to add as gifts for people. I said, and depending what it is, we might even be able to do a buy 1, get 1. Like you might be able to add a barbecue set, give a fishing knife free, right? And that's 2 great gifts for Father's Day or for themselves. And Anthony was like, okay. And then I said, Anthony, do me a favor though, write this down too. I said, there's a bundle on the homemaker. I said, just show it to them. Say, hey, I know you guys were looking at the galley, but my man just wanted me to make sure you knew this deal that was happening. And I said, and show them these 2 options. Okay. And he was like, all right, cool. I said, let them know that they can do, I said, and honestly, you can tell them that this is even like, it's the same for you. It's just better for them. Because it was pretty similar in terms of CPO. I think it increases CPO by like 20, all right, which still adds up, like every 20 adds up, but it wasn't like a huge thing. It was better for the customer, right? I'm like, it's better for you by a little, it's better for the customer by a lot, okay? I said, so show them this. I said, we have the homemaker plus 8. I said, we have a bundle and it's over $2,000 value. I said, so write that down, $2,000 value. And that's how I always have them write down the bundle. I'll put like $4,800 plus value. I'm like, it's over $4,800, the value of this complete set bundle that we have. I'm like, so this homemaker plus 8 bundle, it's over $2,000. Okay. It's the value. I said, if they wanted to do it today, it's actually only $1,419. All right. And so their deposit would be $309. I'm like, go ahead and circle that. I said, that's the deposit they put so they can try it out for 3 weeks. I said, and if you want to make a note under that, put $77 a week in budget, and then put $39 each with a smiley face. All right, so $77 each, or a week budget, weekly in the budget, and then $39 each. I said, and so that bundle, they can get the kitchen tools and the entertainer pack for free. Okay, but if they rather pick out different gadgets, they can do up to $400 of whatever they want. Okay, so just so you know that, I'm like, because it's a killer deal. I said, or they could do a discount, and it's just a little bit more than the galley. I said, like I said, it's kind of the same for you, but it is better for them. And the discount, they get nothing free, but the homemaker plus 8 would be $1,214. So they're saving over $200. Okay, and the deposit, if you want to write it down, is $265. All right, so I'm like, repeat that back to me, Anthony, to make sure you got it. And he's like, okay, the homemaker package, you know, so I want to make sure, by the way, that's another ninja thing, is have them give you the deal back. Say, read it back to me to make sure I said it right. Why do I do that? Anyone?
To make sure that they actually have it down correctly for the customer.
Yes. One, that they had the deal right, that I said, right? And they didn't like write it wrong and say it wrong. All right. But two, that they actually are comfortable saying it, that they can explain it properly. Right. And so I want to see like how they explain it. Like if they did write it down, like, are they explaining it in a way that makes sense? Right. So they're like, so I can do this, you know, and they sound a little confused. If they sound confused, guys, there's no way in hell they're going to present that deal properly to the customer, you know? And I'm like, all right, cool. So just one more time, 2 deals. Number one, the package, which is over 2,000. It's only $14.19 today. Circle 309. Cool. That's the deposit. And they get the kitchen tools and the entertainer pack. I just pick popular things for free. So I tell them what comes in the bundle. And I'm like, so it comes with kitchen tools and entertainer bag. I'm like, or they could pick out whatever they want up to $400. Cool. I'm like, so that's the one option. Are you good with that? They're like, yeah. I'm like, or discount with nothing free. Cool. And so the discount with nothing free, they can do that bundle for $12.14. And the deposit is $265. Cool. Circle that. So they're saving $200. Sounds good. All right. Show them, give me a call back. And then if not, like I said, with the galley, see if there's any other gifts and accessories, because we could do like some add-ons with like buy 2, get 1 free, or maybe even buy 1, get 1 free, depending on what it is. And they're like, all right, cool. And then they'll go and then they'll call back. All right. But this, in terms of how we explain all the stuff. So like someone calls in, Naomi, and oh, my customer is definitely buying these 3 pieces, right? And so this is another thing. I probably should just put it here. We just keep this as a spreadsheet. The thing is, I wanted you guys to have something you can print out and have. So I want to make it in printable, easy things. I wonder how big this is. If this is going to work. If we print it sideways, landscape, Molly, I wonder if this will all fit here. And then what I'd like to do is, we just had this before in Miami. I had it like on a separate paper, like it was 2 separate papers. So maybe that's what it's going to be. But we just did each set so that you guys knew what's in it, so you can explain it all. Okay. You can study it, you can learn it, but like you need to know your sets. You know, so if I said to you like, okay, they're looking at the trimmer, the spatula, and the chef knife, you know, where would you go if someone asked you, what are the sets that have the trimmer, the spatula, and the chef knife? Are you aware?
All knife set.
That's one of them. There's one more.
The essentials.
The space saver. Cool. The essentials has the petite carver, not the trimmer. So it has the petite carver, the spatula, and the chef knife. And I let them know that when I walk through it. Okay. But this is something you guys want to get good too. Like, you know, when you're showing your sets, when you guys are doing your demos, when you're dropping down, like you need to be pointing out what they like. And so I don't know if you guys have seen me run a workshop on this, but Naomi, if I have a customer, when I ask them, so here's what I learned to drop down quick. Cool. You close on the homemaker, right? Once you close on the homemaker, we drop down to the galley, right? And then if they don't get the galley, I say, okay, cool. So Zach, if you were going to customize your perfect stat and you had to pick 3 or 4 of your favorites, what are they? Right. And sometimes they pick out, you know, or I actually said 4 or 5 of your favorites. Sometimes they pick out 3, sometimes they pick out 4, sometimes they pick out 5, you know, whatever, you know, and they're like, I really love the trimmer. I'm going to go with the same one I just did: trimmer, spatula, and chef. And I'm like, all right, great. I'm like, well, hey, just so you know, and I always let them know this so that they keep listening. Why am I saying this? Because if in their head, they're thinking, I just want pieces, guess what they stop doing as you show the starter sets? They stop listening and they're waiting for you to get to the sets. They're waiting for you to get to the pieces, and then they listen again. And they're like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted, pieces, right? So they kind of like shut off. So I don't want them to shut off. So after the galley, I go, hey, if you were going to make your perfect set, what are your 4 or 5 favorites? If you were going to customize, they're like, well, I really just like the trimmer, the spatula, and that chopping knife, that chef. I'm like, great. I go, well, Miss Susie, I can get prices for you and we can customize something based on that. All right. And so I always give them that assurance. So they're like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'd love to show you some of our pre-made sets first, because we have some really awesome bundles. They're discounted. You get free stuff. You get a storage option. They're just a way better value. I'm like, but if not, we can definitely customize something for you. Sounds good? I'm like, let me show you these real quick. And then I show them the starters and I go, so the first one here, What's the first one? Essentials. I'm like, so the first one, the essentials, it has the air. I said it has the spatula you loved and the chef that you loved. I said it doesn't have the trimmer, but it does have the petite carver, the larger utility, and the turning fork, and it has the air knife. Cool. That comes in a block with a cutting board, and it comes with 5 table knives or without. All right. And if you did that, if you really love the trimmer, you could get the trimmer for free, or you could do the scissors for free. All right. The next tool, the next set, and we go to the next set, is the studio set. And so the studio has the trimmer you liked, and it has the spatula that you liked. Cool. It doesn't have the chef though. It also comes with the air knife and the larger utility. It comes with 4 table knives or without. If you did the one with the 4 table knives, you could do the chef for free or the scissors, whichever you prefer. Cool. The next tool in your set is your space saver. The space saver has the trimmer that you loved, the spatula that you loved, and the chef knife that you loved. It also has additional, it has 2 different size paring knives, a smaller and a larger one. Cool. And so that's a really nice block. It goes on can stand on the counter. It can hang on the wall, or it can go in the drawer. So it's really versatile. It's really good for like RVs and campers to go through that. All right. So anyway, so as far as that set, it has the ones that you liked. And with that, you can do scissors for free, or you could do some table knives for free. Okay. The last 2, you've got the kitchenette. Honestly, the kitchenette's not going to be for you. It doesn't have the spatula or the chef. So I just wouldn't even go with that. And then the all knife, this one is also a great option. It has a trimmer, it has a spatula, it has a chef, it has a larger carver, it has an air knife. This comes in a tray that you can put in the drawer with the sharpener and with the cutting board. And I'm like, and then I say, so now after seeing those, I'm like, did any of those catch your eye? I'm like, these are all between $450 to $600. The deposits are between $95 to like $120 today if you wanted to try one of those. I'm like, did any of those? And they're like, oh, I like this one or whatever, right? But let me pause real quick. Why does it make a difference? What do you guys feel like? When I learned this, guys, it was so quick to close, and I had my customers' attention all the time. And what I felt like before when I was dropping down is that when I was going through, it was like I felt like I was like the Snoopy, the Charlie Brown teacher who's like wah 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 wah. Like that's how I felt like I sounded to the customer. I'm like, why are they not paying attention? You know, like I'm showing them, but like they in their head they had checked out because they were like, I just want pieces, right? And so when my manager taught me how to do this after the galley, asking what pieces they liked, and then showing the starter sets in that way, do you think my customers felt like I was trying to push something on them that they didn't want? No. And when I first started, I was like, oh, well, let me share starters. Like, oh, I just want pieces. I'm like, oh yeah, but let me show you these first. And they're like, okay, you know, but it just felt weird energetically, you know, where now when they said, oh, I like pieces, I'm like, great. I'm like, if you were going to make your perfect set, what 4 or 5 of your favorites? I write them down, you know, so they feel like I'm actually listening, right? Because I am. And then I say, Miss Susie, we can customize something for you with those pieces that you liked. But just so you know, we have some pre-made sets that are a way better deal. I'm like, they're phenomenal value. You get more for your money. You get free stuff and you have storage options. I'm like, is it cool if I show you those sets real quick so you can just see them? And if nothing catches your eye, we'll just customize with the stuff you had. Sound good? And they're like, yeah, cool. And so now I walk through the sets, how I did it. Why do you think it changed from customers feeling like I kind of wasn't listening because they just wanted pieces to customers that were super attentive and looking at stuff? What do you think made that shift?
Could you mention the stuff that they liked first that were in it?
Ding, ding, ding. Yep. That's huge. And so they know that you're helping. It's like you're shopping with them, not trying to sell them something. Does that make sense? It's like going shopping with your best friend and you're like, oh my God, this would look good on you. Oh, I don't think this would look good on you. Oh, whatever. You know, you're being very real with them. You know, like even with the kitchenette, I mean, you say like, this is not a good set for you. I'm like, it doesn't even have it's missing 2 of the ones you like. So I wouldn't even do that. You know, like they actually feel like you're trying to help them find what's best for them versus trying to sell them something they don't need. Does that make sense to you guys? So that was a huge like shift for me in my demos that you guys should apply immediately if you don't already do that. I don't know if you guys have been taught that or not yet. It's a more advanced way of closing and dropping down, and it's so quick, it's so easy, and it helps you find, you know, what the customer likes. To me, a lot quicker, while also helping them feel helped the whole time, right? Like not ignored. Like they actually feel like you're listening to them and you're helping them. So anyway, I just want to pass that on because that's something. Molly, you here? You good? You with me? That's something that you guys can utilize yourselves and pass that on to other people. All right. So that's big. So back to here. So if a customer, so you guys want to know your sets, because then, and again, the same thing when you're telling it to the rep, right? So if I have a rep that calls me, all right, and hold on, so Same thing when you guys are going through with reps. So a rep calls in, right? Smirtis called me. He said, my customer definitely wants to get the petite carver and the chef knife. I said, all right, cool. My next question, you guys know from the verbiage, is like, hey, if Cutco, if we were able to hook up something for free, what one or two other things that they possibly like, right? And so he was like, well, they really like the spatula, they really like the scissors. I said, all right, cool. I said, just jot this down. I said, there's a bundle. All right. And anyone know if they have they're definitely getting the petite carver and the chef. They like the spatula and the scissors. What bundle am I going to do?
2 gift sets.
Essential set. Cool. I'm always going to go to a start, like 99.9% of the time I'm going to a starter set. Cool. Like that's my bundles first. And then if not, then we'll go from there. All right. And so the set that I'm going to go for is the essential set. All right. So that's what I did with the customer, because the essentials has the petite carver, the chef, the spatula, right? The paring knife, the turning fork, a block, a cutting board, and the super shears, right? I just include it in that bundle. They like. So this is another psychological thing. If you guys watch my closing sales 101, right? I know Blake, you just re-listened to it. Like never say like, oh, let me show you the set, because they're like, I already showed them the sets. So again, your rep shuts off. So instead of saying, let me show you the set, what are we using? What word are we using? Let me show you this bundle, right? Which is the set and free stuff. So they're like, oh, let me show you this bundle. It's like, oh, tell me what bundle, what deals, what do we have, right? So psychologically, your rep is listening versus shut off. Cool. So I want to make sure you guys understand that too. So when you do it to a rep, just like when you show the customer, same deal, you start with the stuff they like first, right? So you're like, hey, we have this bundle. So write this down. It has the petite carver they wanted. It has the chef knife that they wanted. Cool. It has the spatula that they liked. It has the scissors that they liked, right? So I list those first, even though the scissors not in the block, it's still part of my bundle. So I'm like, it has the scissors that they liked, and it has the air knife, all right? And it has the larger utility, or sorry, I already said that. I'm like, and it has the turning fork, and it has a block and a cutting board. So let me repeat that again. I'm like, so you have the chef, the petite carver, the spatula, the scissors, the turning fork, the air knife, the block, the cutting board. And they're like, all right, yeah, I got that. I'm like, cool. So all of that is typically, let me see here. That bundle's over $800 of stuff. All right. If you want to make a note of that. And so it's over $800 of stuff. And get this, it's only $593. Cool. Only $593. I was like, so, and you could put a line through $593 because they don't have to pay all that today. If they want to try it out, $130. Cool. 130. Circle that. That's what they would put down to try all of that out. I said, so I just want to show them that because they were going to spend more, like just the chef knife is 130, right? So they were going to spend more buying those 2 knives today. And they're going to spend almost half the price. By the way, if you guys look up the chef and the petite carver, you're looking at 225, 250 with taxes and stuff, right? So they're spending, so I'm like, it's almost half the price, right? So that's what I say to them. So I'm like, so they're spending almost half the price for the 2 pieces. And here they get those 2 and the spatula and the scissors and the air knife and the turning fork and the block and the cutting board. I said, and so they just get a lot more for their money. And a peeler. I always add a peeler with the scissors on this. And I'm like, and they get the vegetable peeler. I said, so just show them that because that's a really great deal. Cool. And if not, write down buy 3, get 1 free. They could add the scissors and get the spatula for free. Cool. So you've got the bundle I just told you about, right? Which is freaking badass. And if they don't like the bundle, make sure they know, just say, if they say, no, I don't want to do all that, be like, all right, cool. Well, hey, just so you know, my manager did say you could do a buy 3, get 1 free. So if you wanted to add the scissors, you could get the spatula free. Would you like to add that to it, or you want to stick with what you got? And they're like, oh no, let's add that. I'm like, all right, great. So it's like, it's no pressure. It's always just making sure they know their options. All right. Any questions on that? All right. So again, big thing for this is you have to know what's in the sets, right? And so a lot of my guys, and you guys can all grab a blue book from the office. Kristen, Zach, that's something that you guys are going to be online anyway. But I would have it, like, I don't know if you guys want to print it out. If not, I could just mail you one, but I like to have the blue book because you can see everything that's in, like you could see the pictures of the sets, like not this, sorry. You could see the pictures of the sets and see what's in it, because this shows you like when you look here. So even online, you guys can see it because when you go to the block, it shows you in the picture, it comes with the air knife, the small utility, the spatula, the turning fork, the larger carving fork, like it shows you everything that's in there so that you can say what comes in it, right? If they do the galley, It shows you over here what's in it. So the galley does not have a sharpener, okay? The homemaker does. If you look at the homemaker, it has the sharpener, that little handheld, that little white thing with that you hold the hand, that's the sharpener for the straight edges, all right? If you look here, the galley doesn't have it. If you look at the kitchenette, it doesn't have it. If you look at the all knife, it does have a sharpener, all right? If you look at the Space Saver, it does have a sharpener. So this shows you like the knives that are in here, so that you can just like look at it and tell them everything that comes in that bundle. That's what all my guys, when I trained them, before in Miami, this is what they did, is they looked at the picture and just like went through that with them. All right. What I did for you guys is I put an S. Do you guys see an S? If it comes with a sharpener. Cool. So I put that already there so that you don't misrepresent and say like it comes with a sharpener. They don't all come with sharpeners. The homemaker and above, all the family sets come with sharpeners. And then the essentials, Space Saver and all knife do. All right. I'd love to hear comments or questions on this. But again, it's always, we have a bundle, which is over a $1,250 value, or it's a $650 value, or whatever value I put on here is what it is. All right. So I already did all the back end work. You just need to read this and say, so we have this bundle that's, over $4,800. It's actually only $3,259 right now. I said, so the deposit is $707 if you want to circle that. And they just get, they get all of the basic tools, all of the specialty knives, the block, 3 cutting boards, sharpener. I was like, and then they can get the kitchen tools, the entertainer pack, the barbecue tools, and some other gadgets for free, or pick out whatever the heck they want. That's $750 to $850 of whatever they want if they want to replace those items. Cool. And so that is a sick deal. They're getting $1,800, or I guess $1,600. A discount on that bundle. So I highly recommend that. And then if they don't want to do, if they just want the set of knives, let me know, because we have a discount option. I'm like, but go through the gifts and accessories and see what they like, and then give me a shout back, and let me know what they want to do, what they want to get free. And if for whatever reason they want the discount option, I'll let you know that. So I don't even spend much time on the discount. I just like build out the bundle, what they get. I'm like, this is super sick. I'm like, and if they didn't want the extra free stuff, I'm like, there is a discount option. I was like, so just call me back, like after you show them the gifts and accessories. And I can let you know that if they didn't see anything else they like. But most people love to hook up their kitchen or gifts for people and like never have to touch that again, so they're like, all right, cool. So is this helpful? Can I get some feedback from you guys on this? I spent time the other day putting this together. And then thank you, Molly, for doing the discount B block prices for me.
Yeah, it definitely helps, because there's a lot of times where I don't know what comes with what, and then how much each one exactly would be. So I have to take time to put in my calculator, which makes it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. So that definitely helps.
Yeah. And I want to make it fast. Someone calls in and you're like, all right, cool. Yeah, we can do that. Be like, hey, also, and you guys got to get excited. Be like, just so you know, there's this bundle, and sharing with them, be like, so just show them that just in case, like what's the worst they say? No, I'll go with what I got, and I always tell them to say, oh, it has this and this and this. Do you like that better? Or you want to just do what you're doing? And for me, at least half the time they ended up doing the larger, at least half the time. Sometimes, even more. But I can confidently say that at least half my customers ended up buying the bigger option once we found what they wanted. And then once I showed them the better value, at least half of them, if not 70% or more, ended up buying the better value. Cool. But I always tell the customer, I'm like, hey, do you like that better? Or you want to go with what you're doing? And they're like, ooh, I like that better. I'm like, yeah, for sure. All right. But my nonverbals, your nonverbals are important in this too. And as you guys are coaching people, it's not like when I say, oh, did you like that better? Like, that's how I'm like, oh, did you like that better? I'm like, or did you want to just go with what you're doing? And they're like, oh no, I like that better. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do that. I'm like, it's definitely the better deal. So cool. So you guys have that there. So the next thing that we need to do then, and I'll put it in here for now, because I'm just going to share this with you guys so that you all have it. Let me change the link so that anyone with the link can view this. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat box. If you guys want to grab this and save it into your drive. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. It like somehow just saved the just so you know. Copy link. Done. Here we go. All right, cool. I just shared that in the chat so you guys can grab it. And so again, I'm going to write down the stuff that's in the smaller, but when you guys give deals, and again, this is back to closing sales 101, you list every single thing that it comes with. Except when you go to the larger, you say it comes with all the basic tools in the homemaker, and it has the scissors and the, and you spit out the rest of the stuff in the signature. With the complete, I say it has all the basic tools that are in the homemaker. It has and then whatever specialty knives they like. I'm like, it has a boning knife you like, the Hardy, and all the other specialty tools. Comes in a block, comes with 12 table knives or 12 steak knives, comes with a sharpener, comes with 3 cutting boards, and it comes with kitchen tools, entertainer pack, and barbecue tools. Or you can pick out $750 to $850 or whatever the heck you want for free. Cool. And they're like, oh wow. I'm like, yeah, show them that. And I talk slower, and I'm sorry, I'm talking fast because I know we have advanced training coming up here, but I talk slower. I'm like, hey, write this down. Make sure it just like when you guys hear me go through closing. And I'm like, did you get that? I'm like, repeat that back to me. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, heck yeah. I'm like, it's such a great deal. So show that to them, but if they don't want to do that, that's fine. Just make sure to show them the gifts and accessories in case there's anything else they like, so we can make sure they get the best deal, the most for their money. Okay. And they're like, all right, cool. And they'll call back. All right. So again, with the complete set, that's the only one where I don't list every single piece, but with all the smaller ones, and when you're upselling from like pieces to one of the starters, they call you. I had a customer, they said they want they just want the chef knife. Right. And I was like, okay, Olivia, if we gave them something free, I said, what are 2 other things that they like? If we were able to hook up some free stuff, or I said, what 2 or 3 other things that they like if we were to hook up something free? And she said the spatula and the scissors. I said, okay, cool. I said, well, hey, there's this bundle, and I went straight to the all knife. I love the all knife set. I think it's a fabulous set with a lot of the basics. And so I sold the hell out of that. I probably sold like hundreds of all knife sets in my career. But I said, all right, Olivia, I said, this set has, write this down. I said, it has the chef that they wanted to buy. Cool. It has the spatula that they liked. It has the scissors that they liked. Cool. It also has the air knife. It also has the small utility trimmer. It also has the large carver. Let me know if I'm going too fast. So again, chef, spatula, scissors, air knife, small utility trimmer, carving knife, and it has the tray, and it has the cutting board, and it has the sharpener. And if they hook you up with a double sponsor, you could even give them a peeler with that too. All right. But that's a sick deal. I'm like, this bundle is $765 normally. I said in the deposit, the deal right now is actually only $555. All right. So you're saving over $200. I said, but the deposit's only $122. And that's actually less than they were going to spend today just buying the chef knife. I said, so just show it to them and say, oh, Miss Susie, I just want to show you something real quick. I just talked to my manager and she has a bundle, and you'll actually spend less today. And this bundle has the chef that you were going to buy, and it has a spatula, and it has the scissors, and it has the air knife, and it has a small utility, and it has the large carver, and it has a sharpener, and it has a tray, and it has a cutting board. By the way, it's exactly how I did this to my customers too, just like I just did to you guys. And I'm like, and so you just get way more. I'm like, it's over a $765 value, and it's $555. I said, in the deposit to try it all out and see how you like it, it's $122. I'm like, and I circle it, and I'm like, so you're spending less today. If you wanted to try that. I'm like, so I want to make sure you knew about that, because it's a way better value. I'm like, and then she said, if not, you could do add the scissors, get the spatula free, do a buy 2, get 1 free to start your collection with the chef, the scissors, and the spatula free. And her customer was like, oh, no, let's do that bundle. And she ended up selling an all knife set, with free super shears and a free peeler. All right. That's what ended up happening there. And I could tell you 1 million other stories, of people calling in and what happened on their stuff. But you just have to get good and comfortable when you're explaining it has this and this and this and this and this and this. And they're like, what? Oh, more? Oh, there's more? Oh, you're like, yeah. I'm like, so it's a way better value. They get way more for their money. So just show them it, because a lot of people like to get the most for their money. I said, and if they say like, oh no, I don't want to do all that, you say, hey, no worries. Just so you know, she did say you could do a buy 2, get 1 free. If you wanted to add the scissors, you get the spatula and start your collection that way. Would that interest you, or you want to still just do the chef? And they're like, oh no, I like that. Let's do that. I'm like, cool. And that was it, so it was quick and easy, and get to the next thing. So questions, I want you guys to ask me any questions while you have me.
Well, for starters, I'd love to say thank you for making that document because I remember closing sales like last year and it was tedious.
Yeah, I haven't remade that since I left Miami. I'm like, I think, or no, we made one, the Warriors one in West Houston when I first moved here. I just don't know why it didn't get I just haven't used it. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
So,
I'm like looking at it and I'm like, this is great.
yeah, it makes it so
Also wanted to ask, do we say bundle? That only applies whenever we're talking like pieces into sets.
any deal that you're doing, you can call it a
Okay.
bundle. I'm always showing a starter set bundle as an option. And I'm like, we have this bundle that has it out. I'm like, or you could do a buy 3 get 1 free, or you could do a buy 2 get 1 free. So I always do like my starter sets are a bundle, and then, or we have this custom, smaller, I mean, I don't know. I didn't call it, it doesn't matter, but definitely like when I say bundle, it's like, I'm always showing them like a starter set with like scissors and a peeler or something like that,
Nice.
or with table knives. And I'm like, so you can do that bundle. I'm like, or there's a smaller one. You could call it a bundle. You could call it a deal, whatever. I'm like, or there's a smaller deal that you can do a custom deal that has a buy 2 get 1 or buy 3 get 1, or whatever that is, depending on what the knives are, right? So if they're buying a chef, that's over 130. If they're buying a scissor, that's over 130. They can do a spatula for free. So in that case, I can do a buy 2 get 1 and help close that as an upsell. I don't have to go to a buy 3 get 1. Okay. And so keep that in mind. They were only going to buy one piece for sure. So if now I'm saying buy 3 and get 1, they're like, well, I don't want 3. I was only going to get 1. But if they showed interest in these 2 other possible ones, it's a lot easier to go, well, if you bought the chef and added the scissors, we could do the spatula for free. Cool. But again, I don't give that without also giving, I always give 2 options. I always say, hey, let me show you this bundle that we have that's sick. And then if they don't do that, here's what you can do. So I always give the options of something like bigger and sexier with a great value. And that is assuming that they're definitely buying something, right? They're definitely buying that one knife. They definitely are interested in blank, or they're definitely doing this. If they're considering, then I'm just like, using one of these bundles to help close that deal. But if it's pieces, I'll give both. I'll say, hey, there's a bundle that I just so you have it, if you want to show it to them. I'm like, but with what you're doing, you can definitely do a buy 3 get 1 or a buy 2 get 1. And I want to build that up because I want them to close freaking sale. So don't get crazy trying to do too much. If someone hasn't made a decision yet, just help them close a smaller sale. And then you can always say, hey, let's look at accessories and see if there's anything else they like, because there's some really good bundles happening for Memorial Day weekend. We definitely want to help them out. Cool. By the way, Kristen and Zach, I don't know if you guys have met Blake before, but this is Erica's husband. So he'll be helping us close sales here for this next month of crazy, for the next 2 months. So cool. Any other questions that you guys have with this? I know I went over on my time, so I want to honor that.
So after they show them the galley, then they'll ask like if they can customize which pieces would they like. And then
when you guys are coaching people individually, not on the phone, you're not going to do all that. Because you're just let them do whatever they're doing. But I'm just saying, you guys start doing that on your demos. That's going to make it a lot quicker. And if someone's having trouble chopping down, you can teach them that. This is really easy, keeps the customer engaged the whole time, right? And I'll be teaching this in one of the workshops like next week. We're going to start doing the daily workshops. So I'll teach this. And this is something that you guys can direct your people to. And I believe I have a video on it somewhere. I can look, but if not, we'll record a new one. But it's just real simple. You guys close on the larger sets, galley. If they don't buy a galley, I always, whether they say, can I buy pieces or not, I bring it up. So let's say they didn't say anything. Well, I don't know, I want to do all that today. I go, all right, Miss Susie, let me ask you something. If you were going to design like your perfect set, what are the 4 or 5 you feel you'd use the most? Like I'll ask that after the galley, because I want to be intentional and quick going through the starter sets. And so I want to know what they like so I can help guide them to that quickly, and they're like, I like this. And I'm like, all right, beautiful. I'm like, well, hey, I can customize your set, totally personalized to you. I said, if you're cool, I would love to show you some pre-made options that we have because they are pretty amazing deals. They're discounted. They have free stuff. They have storage options. I'm like, so I'd love to show you those super fast. And if you don't see anything, we'll customize with the tools you have. Is that cool? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, great. I'm like, let me fly through these. And I always use words like that really quick. Let me fly through these. So that they don't feel it's going to take a long time. And that's a psychological thing also to keep the customer engaged with you. Okay. So I'm like, yeah. So then I go through them and I'm like, hey, so this set here, it has this one you like, this one you like, that it's missing these. you could this for free, but you can't get this, you know. So let's say like someone had a chef and a butcher as two of their, you know, 4 favorites. Well, when I get to the studio, you know, I'm like, so on the essentials, I'm going to say everything that it has. I'm going to say it has a chef that you liked. I was like, it doesn't have the butcher. It also has da 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 da. I'm like, for free, you could do the butcher or the scissors. Cool. The next one is the studio. Honestly, Miss Susie, I don't know that this is the best set for you, right? And that, like, I think that's a really positive thing to say to a customer, because then they're like, oh, they're not just trying to sell me, they're actually trying to help me, you know? And so I was like, Miss Susie, the studio, I don't think is the best set for you because it doesn't have the chef or the butcher. I was like, I give you one of them for free, but I was like, it doesn't have either of the ones of those two that you really loved. I was like, now the next set, the Space Saver could work really well. It does have the other ones you liked, and it has a chef. It's missing the butcher. The butcher only comes with the larger sets, but you could get the butcher with any of these for free, butcher or scissors. All right. And then this one has this. So did any of those catch your eye, or did you want to customize? I'm like, oh yeah, I like this with the butcher free. I'm like, all right, great, let's do it. You know, and it's like, it's just, you guys will see if you start doing this, like it is so much like quicker and easier, and it just feels good. And I feel like the customer feels good too, because they really feel like they're being helped. And so it makes that difference. Cool. Any other questions? We record. So last thing is, every single sale that comes in needs to be written down somewhere. Web PDI, fire symbols, the best place to put it. And then obviously recognizing the guys in the group me. But every time, because then you guys, when you're picking up the phones, you can even say like, Memorial Day sales, you know, weekend sales are popping. Who's this? Like Kristen. Oh my God, Kristen, things are blowing up right now. Naomi just sold a galley. So-and-so just sold this. So-and-so just sold a custom. How can I help you? Right. But you're like listing off stuff. And this is old school, but it is, it makes a big difference. You know, the DVMs and I were all talking about like just old school, just psychological things. And they're like, oh crap. Like, and they also get excited to get their name heard, you know, like when they call and say, we're like, this is happening. They're like, yeah, I did, you know, and they get excited about that. So just recognizing everything that's happening, but just, again, they feed off of us. So we've got to have energy when we're on the phone and we're closing sales. We've got to get excited for them. We've got to get excited for the time of the year and what's happening. And as you guys do PDI right now, you guys might just split and call some of the people because I don't know where we're at and how late we're running behind. But Molly, you've got everyone here except Blake. Blake will be watching some other videos and making sure he's ready to kick some butt. But I want to make sure that we practice. So Kristen and Zach, tomorrow, we need you guys strong. We have 12 graduations tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. We have 3 at 9 a.m. We have 2 at noon. We have like some in the afternoon, like all day we're in graduations. So the 12:15 interview, I'm going to have Steph run the group, and then I need you guys to help attack with the posts. Cool. And she'll help do some, but I need you guys ready. So I want to make sure we practice, and that Erica does a skills check on your post tonight. I already had talked to her earlier about that, but I want Erica to do a skills check on each of you and make sure that we're good for tomorrow, because you guys are going to be in charge of a lot of the posts from the 12:15 interview. So that'll be like at 1 o'clock Central that we'll have posts to do. All right. So Kristen, you'll be out of school then, right? Tomorrow's a half day.
So I don't have school tomorrow, but I'm going to be gone all day at a festival.
Oh, just kidding. Okay, shit. All right. I didn't know that. I had you definitely on the schedule tomorrow. Okay. So Zachy Poo, be ready to rock and roll. And Blake's gonna be out of the graduation, so I might just have to keep Steph in. And then for the 6:15, I was gonna have Spencer do the group, and then split with you guys, because the next graduations after 4 o'clock are at 7 o'clock. So they need to leave by like 7:15 to head to those. So he has time to do the group and do like 3 or 4 of the posts. And then, yeah, Zach, if you can crush those posts and make sure we're firming people up and setting them up properly, you know, for next week, that'll be huge. All right. Let me pull up Vector live here.